It is a dark, dark day, folks. Now, as you know, I have been effusive in my praise of fever legend Tamika Catchings. Effusive. I just did a video the other day talking about how thrilled I was with the media opportunity she recently got with USA Basketball, the network. And now, sadly, I have found her on my dark side. And we are going to talk about this and get into why I have a problem with what she says here about Caitlin Clark, because it feels a little bit like same old, same old. And Tamika Catchings, I believe, was a teammate of Stephanie White's, if I'm remembering correctly, for the Indiana Fever. So she recently was did an interview. I want to talk about a specific clip, some of the things that she says as we go into the season for the Fever. It may have happened already by the time you see this video. Expansion draft is today. I'm recording this on April. What is April? On April Friday, the first Friday in April. I believe it's the third. Uh, Probably we'll do a video on that. Depending on how exciting it is, we'll see how much it impacts the Indiana Fever. So anyway, welcome back. Thank you for being here. Truly appreciate all your support. Do me a favor, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. And apparently, that's not enough for YouTube. There's also a notification bell, which I mentioned like twice in 1,000 videos. But now apparently there also is, if you are watching on mobile, there is a hype button you can hit, which is specifically for smaller channels like this one to give it a boost. I don't know if you know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I was just informed. So anyway, if you happen to know what that is and hit that as well, I really truly do appreciate that. And I apologize for all the things YouTube makes me ask you to do, but if I don't, I'm just talking to myself. Not that I don't do that, but it's not quite as much fun. Anyway, let's get into this. We've got about a minute and a half of the video here. It is a little echoey on her end, so hopefully you can hear it, but I also have the written bit as well. So, I'll re-say some of the things that I want to specifically talk about.
When you're trying to come off an injury and feel healthy again, what's the key to getting back into like the rhythm of a season without pushing too far too fast, especially with someone like
Whoops.
when you're trying to come off an injury and feel healthy again, what's the key to getting back into like the rhythm of a season without pushing too far too fast, especially with someone like Kaylin's workload?
Yeah, I think the great thing for her is that she played USA basketball
Yeah.
and had the opportunity to play. Got the most valuable player overseas. So I think coming back into it and playing at such an elite level, but also you look at the success of the Fever last year. With all of the injury, one thing that she doesn't have to do is come back and like put the team on her back and think that she has to carry them. It's also a good thing that the players had to play without her and without, not just her, but the other supporting players as well. So now it's just a matter of her getting in. I mean, I know that some of them are in town already, working out, gearing up for this upcoming season. And the more you can trust your teammate, the more I feel like the more success you could have as a team. And so for me, even coming back, it was really about trust. I have to trust my teammates. I got to figure out how to get myself 100%. And more than anything, that's the mental piece of, okay, like if I make the wrong step, I'm not going to re-injure it, and so you have to get over that mental barrier. But once you get over that, it really is like the trust of your teammate. I think we have a really good core here in Indy. Hopefully, they can keep some of the core players that we have and continue to build.
When you're
Okay. Well, there are a few things I want to talk about in this. Um, First of all, the getting back from injury and overcoming that mentally and so forth is a non-conversation piece. Now that's I'm not really mad about that. That was kind of framed in the question, but I just wanted to bring it up because this is not someone coming back. I mean, I know it kept her out for a lot of the season because you had these little nagging things that sometimes they take a while to heal. They're a pain. They're more of an annoying inconvenience because you can't play with them. But it's not like tearing an ACL and the amount of time that takes, and then trusting that your knee is going to be okay. Caitlin has been healthy for a long time. She did mention, hey, she played USA basketball. You saw how she played. There is nothing in Caitlin Clark's head about, oh, well, I don't want to put the pedal to the metal. I don't want to go full throttle because I'm afraid of getting injured. Anyone who's been around sports enough in terms of playing, coaching, even as a fan, if you have that much of an interest in watching, Caitlin Clark was not someone playing like she was worried about being injured. That is a non-discussion. It does not matter. It does not factor in to any of this. Now, a couple of other things that she said that I thought were really important. Um, Now, I know she said it in a different way, but this is how I took it. And this is also how I saw some other people take it as well when she said, remember Stephanie White, by the way. And I think I just saw that down here. Did I see that down here? You've seen Stephanie White both as a teammate, yeah, and as a head coach. So yeah, teammates, has a relationship with Stephanie White. Remember Stephanie White's is a blessing in disguise that Caitlin Clark got hurt. Your best player, your quarterback, the engine that makes you go, the player that led you to a playoff appearance for the first time since Reconstruction, it's a blessing in disguise that she got hurt. This is what Tamika Catchings said, folks. She echoed it. I know for someone to say, oh, you're being picky. Well, that maybe, but I'm also fascinated with how people word things and trying to figure out exactly the message they're trying to give. And Tamika Catchings, to me, said the same thing when she said that it was good. She said it was good that the team got to play without Caitlin Clark. That makes no sense to me. You never hear that about anyone else. How many of you watch football? How many of you are football fans? NFL, you got a team? Are you looking forward to it being good that your team gets to play without your starting quarterback for most of a season? Is that what you're excited about? They definitely made a run last year. I mean, I've covered that in multiple places. They picked up a lot of players. They were forced to pick up a lot of players I'd said they should get anyway. I think they had a better roster than most teams post Caitlin Clark injury just because of the way the WNBA is. There are a lot of good players out there that were not on rosters. But man, it was good they got to play without Caitlin. Why? See that's the thing. That's the type of stuff where I also get really irked nowadays with interviewers. I think most of them are terrible. And to be fair, there're just too many of them. And I get it because there's so much to cover. Sports have grown so many. There's all these different athletes. You get a lot of people who really aren't good at what they do, but you need somebody to fill the spot. But man, you tell me that, and I'm saying, well, what do you mean? Can you explain what do you mean? What do you mean by it was good the team got to play without her? What was good about it? Now, even better, here's the one I really got to say. She mentioned this a few times, and I found this kind of bizarre. Caitlin Clark, about Caitlin Clark learning to trust her teammates, not having to put the team on her back. I've never seen that. Oh, guess what? Superstars, again, especially at the position like point guard, they will they are doing more because the team needs them to do more. That's not necessarily the same thing as they feel like they have to put the team on their back because they don't have good enough talent around them. Caitlin Clark, not. Have you watched Caitlin Clark play? Have any of you watched Caitlin Clark play basketball? Whatever would give you the idea that she didn't trust her teammates anywhere she's played? Did she not lead the league in assists her rookie season? Did we not see the beginning of a rookie season, right? We did compilations on these things. The amount of passes she threw that her teammates dropped that should have been layups. And yet Caitlin Clark kept throwing them. all kinds of passes. High risk, yeah, but high reward. Some were actually a lot of easy ones were dropped, but some were actually tough to catch because sometimes when you're throwing a high risk pass and you have a small window, you're putting a little something on it. Maybe you're putting a little spin. Maybe you're putting an extra little bit of heat, but you're putting something on the ball that's also going to make it tougher for your teammate to catch. Did we ever see Caitlin be like, "No, I'm not going to pass those"? No. You know who did that? Stephanie White said, "Hey, Caitlin, you're not going to throw those passes." Caitlin Clark never said that. This idea that Caitlin Clark has to learn to trust her teammates and not think she has to put the team on her back, really kind of pisses me off because we've never seen that from Caitlin Clark. Being the dominant offensive player, even being the player that takes more shots than anyone else, being the player that's the go-to player for shots at the end of a game, does not equal a player who is selfish and or a player that feels like they have to put the team on their back. It is because they are that player. And Caitlin Clark has never in the way she plays given you any indication or reason to think, oh, she doesn't trust her teammates. She needs to learn to trust her teammates. She thinks it's all about her. She has to put the team on her back to win because she doesn't trust her teammates. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. Yeah. Anyway, before I keep going and ranting on that, she never had to put a team on her back. She always had that. Well, I don't know about that. She doesn't think that. This is the weakest pro Caitlin comment ever. I'm tired of it. It probably doesn't even count as a pro Caitlin comment. Hopefully she said something more positive than that. And by the way, while I'm reading this, it's kind of funny because I kind of agree with this person. I don't know if it's the weakest pro Caitlin I've ever heard, but then I just realized as a big Caitlin Clark fan, and they have me see there's nothing there, they're followers or any of that they have me blocked. I don't know who this is, but they found something I said offensive, I guess. Anybody. And then where was the, I thought I saw something else, but oh well, maybe not. I thought maybe it got deleted. I saw somebody make another comment that I thought was kind of interesting, but anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Let me. Do you think I'm reading too much into this, or do you think it's a little irksome about she's got to learn to trust them and not and anyway? Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, notify, hype, do a little dance, get jiggy with it. I don't know, do the robot. YouTube's got a whole list for you. I'll talk to y'all later.